Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here, back with another video game collections live stream. Today I'm going to be talking about not one but two different consoles, handheld consoles, my Nintendo 3DS and my Sony PS Vita. So since I don't have a whole lot of games for each console, I decided to put them together into one video to kind of make it normal length. But on top of that, it's still probably going to be a pretty short video. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot, and especially when it comes to my Vita, I haven't played a whole lot of them. Most of them came from limited run, and I still haven't decided if I want to open them up or leave them sealed. Probably should open them up. Why not? But whatever. What is up, Peter? How's it going, sir? that Mortal Kombat medal, yeah. So why do I do these live streams? I talk about this every single time I do one. It's not to brag. It's not to show off. It's basically to have a visual record of everything in my collection, just in case there's something bad that happens, like something happens to the apartment, or something like I get robbed, or there's a fire, or something like that. You know, I have a visual record for insurance purposes, and plus it's more content for the channel, which is always good, since I've obviously been lacking severely on the edited content. I'm trying to rectify that, but just every single time I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. Don't do it. So, whatever. But Nintendo 3DS. I completely skipped the Nintendo DS console. I wasn't interested. I'd kind of fallen out of favor, or kind of lost interest in the handheld consoles at the time. And, I just didn't care about the DS. I was like, that's gimmick. Whatever. Bleh. And I skipped it. And then the 3DS came out, and I was pretty much the exact same way until I got back into collecting. And once I got back into collecting, I was watching videos of people talking about the games and what they do, and, you know, Metal Jesus doing hidden gem videos on the DS and all that. And I was just like, I think I missed out. So I eventually gave in and bought a Nintendo 3DS XL, and it was the the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds edition. So it was like gold on the top, and it had a Triforce, and on the bottom it was black, and it had a Triforce on there too. Came with a download code for Link Between Worlds, which I never used. And I absolutely loved it. And then, a year later, the new Nintendo 3DS came out, which was the one that had the extra controls and the extra processing power and all that. So I ended up trading that. My intention was to sell it because it was a limited edition. I sold the box and everything. The code was unused. I was going to sell it to pay for the new Nintendo 3DS. Ended up just trading it to get a PS Vita. So it all comes full circle. And PS Vita was something I wasn't really interested in either. Last handheld I had was a PSP, and I liked it, and then I just kind of completely lost interest in it, like I said. And then started watching videos of people playing the games, found out you could actually buy this little PlayStation TV thing, so you could actually play the Vita games on the TV, which was pretty fantastic. I still need to get one, even though it's super expensive. And I really started to like it, and then, the moment I got it, I want to say, within a few months is when, Sony was just kind of we're done with this thing. So I was like, jumped on the bandwagon a little too late. Whatever. But I really do enjoy it. The games I have played and completed on the PS Vita are really fun. It's just that most of my games ended up being from limited run, and like I said, I don't know if I want to open them or not. Probably should. I'm ignoring you, Neo Genesis. I'm completely ignoring you. I don't see it. So let's get started with the Nintendo 3DS, since I got it before the Vita. I think it came out before the Vita, I think. We'll talk about some of these games. And I have a lot of collector's editions or limited editions for this console. Starting off with the very first one, which is Adventure Time, Explore the Dungeon, because I don't know. I still have yet to really get into this cartoon. I've seen maybe 3 episodes of it, and I kind of enjoyed what I saw. But I bought the games before I saw the cartoon. And the game itself, I have played a little bit. I also have it for the Wii U. It's a Legend of Zelda style clone, the original Legend of Zelda. It's kind of like a top-down adventure game. And there's dungeons and everything, and it's pretty fun from what I have played, the little of it that I have played. But I ended up buying the collector's edition that came with this, I don't know what this thing is called, the Game Boy? BMO? Whatever. It has a slip, and underneath is a steel case of this, the BMO, yeah. If I watched the cartoon, I'd probably know these things. But it comes with like a hint guide. This Finn and Jake's Dungeon Guide, which is basically like the manual or extended version of the manual, and it also comes with a disc of bonuses: actor interviews, storyboards, cinematics, and concept art DVD. So that's kind of neat. It would probably be better if I was actually a fan of the show, so I would get more out of what's on that disc and probably get more of the jokes of the game. But the game is enjoyable, so can't complain. Stay. Whew. Okay, next is Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack. I got this because of Radical Reggie. He was talking to... I can't remember if it was Metal Jesus or somebody. He was talking to somebody in a video, or maybe he made a video about it. I don't remember. But I just remember he told me if I liked Mega Man, the original Mega Mans, I'd probably love this game. So I picked it up that night. I ordered it off of Amazon and it showed up. And yeah, it's kind of like a variation of Mega Man, and it's done by Yacht Club Games, the people that make what's it called? Shovel Knight, one of my favorite console franchises ever, or games ever, and I can't remember the name of the damn game. But yeah, it's kind of like playing Mega Man. I've only played the first game of the tags an enemy. Did my thing freeze up? Nope. You have a gun that tags an enemy, and then from that point on, everything you shoot goes to the tag. So it's kind of like that's the shooting mechanic of the game, which is pretty fun. Gets a little frustrating later on in the game, but I enjoy it. It's pretty neat. I got it for the Switch also. I kind of don't need that version anymore because I can play the Switch version on the go in handheld mode or on my TV, which is better than that. So that might be going away. I also picked this one up. I have not played this one yet because I want to play through the other games in this franchise before I get to this. So this is Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. I don't know if this is like a side story to Batman Arkham Origins or not, or if it's a port or what, but froze momentarily, but you're glad. Yeah, it did that last time too. I don't know why it's freezing up. But by the way, thanks for coming, TJ. How's it going? I picked this one up at Half Price Books really, really cheap. And I love Batman, but it looks more like a side-scrolling beat-em-up instead of a 3D game. So I'm not sure where this fits into the timeline of the games. If this is a prequel or a sidequel or a sequel, I don't know. But I'll find out eventually. But that's also available for the Vita, I think. But this was the game that I wanted to buy my 3DS to play, and that is Bravely Default. When I bought my 3DS, I was heavily into starting my collection back up, and RPGs were this thing that I was really going after, and I started seeing videos of this and hearing reviews about it and everything, and I was like, I need that in my life. And when I bought my 3DS, this was the first game that I purchased, and I never beat it, I never completed it. I kind of I played it for a good 15 hours, I want to say. And I just kind of was oh, other games. This 3DS thing was new, and I was constantly buying new games for it to add to the collection because I was crazy about just adding things to the collection at the beginning. And I kind of lost track of this. I just kind of ignored it for a while. And now I have totally forgotten what I'm supposed to be doing in this game, so I have to start over from the very beginning. But it's a really fun RPG. It's kind of like a throwback. This was, when Square Enix was trying to go back to what the original Final Fantasies were. And it was really good. I liked it a lot. There's voice acting, and the battle mechanics are really cool. I like it a lot. You have the whole do you or don't you thing in the mechanics. So it's really fun. I need to just go back and start all over again, which is kind of sad. Which leads to Bravely Second End Layer, which I do believe is it's not like the sequel to the game. It's like a continuation of the first game. Because now there is Bravely Default 2 coming out. So I was under the assumption this was a direct sequel, and I was like, when I get back to playing that Bravely Default, I'm definitely going to be playing that Bravely Second thing, of course. And it just hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I haven't played this one yet because I haven't beaten the first one. But now that there is another game on the way, I need to get on that. So this is supposed to be the year of the RPGs, so that's where you go. Yeah, it wasn't that I didn't like it, TJ. It's just that I just got distracted by other games. I was like I said, I was constantly buying new games for the console, and I just kind of was oh, they what? Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. I hadn't played a Castlevania game in a long time. Last one I played a little bit was one of the DS games to see if it worked when I bought it. But This is the first Castlevania game I started to really get into when I first got it. Like, I really started to play it, and I maybe made it about halfway through. It is a Metroidvania, and I really, really enjoyed it, but once again, got completely distracted by other games. So I need to go back and complete this. I honestly have not booted up my 3DS in probably over a year, which is pretty sad. Same with the Vita. The Vita's probably been 2 years. But the 3D, the glasses-less 3D that the Nintendo 3DS does is fantastic in this game. This was like one of the first ones with another one that's coming up where I was just kind of like, yes, this is exactly what I hoped it would be. And I really liked it. I haven't really played a whole lot of the other Lords of Shadow games in the Castlevania franchise, but this one's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. I don't know where that fits into the franchise either, but whatever. Still haven't opened this one because I got this for like $3 brand new off of like Amazon or something. Codename Steam. One of my friends texted me and said that this was like a steampunk Lovecraft thing. Like, I guess. I don't remember. I get the steampunk. I don't get the Lovecraft. I see tentacles, though, so that could be a... yeah, there it is. Whoa, okay. That's a combination. But I guess this is a strategy game. Haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment. But I remember, like, not a lot of people digging this. So, there's always that. Okay, so I still haven't opened this because my idea with this was I was going to flip it. Because I don't really care about this. I don't know why it's still in my collection. But Kubik Ninja. And the only reason I bought it was, you might remember, if you're watching this live stream, you probably know. I want to say a few years back, there was like this crazy rush to get a copy of this game. Because it turns out there's like an exploit in this game you can use to hack your 3DS and install like a homebrew channel on your front page. And like everyone wanted a copy of this because once you jailbroke your 3DS, I don't think you could update it anymore or whatever. And if if you did try to update, Nintendo would catch on, and like I don't know if they would shut down your system or whatever. I heard rumors about all kinds of things, but this was like a $2 game brand new, and then all of a sudden people are selling it for like $80, $90, $100. And I was like, ooh, shit, I need to get on that before it's completely hard to find. And I just happened to go into, like, the one Kmart still in my area. It was actually closer to my work than my home. I went into this Kmart just to see what they had that day, to see if there was any sales or anything, because I heard that they were going to be closing down. And there was a copy of this sitting there for $10. So I picked it up, and I was like, yes, I can flip it. And then, like, 3 days later, Nintendo fixed that exploit. Like, they made it so you're unable to do what this game lets you do. And I was like, missed my window. But anyway, I still have the game. It is still sealed. But I think it's like a puzzle platformer. I might just play it because. Dream Trigger 3D. I bought this because of Metal Jesus. He was talking about it in one of his videos. And it's like a into-the-screen shooter, kind of like Star Fox, but without the ship. You just have like a reticle on the screen and you're shooting things. And your reticle's like a little butterfly. And it's weird because the way you have to control it, you have to use the stylus and the buttons on the controller, and it sucks. I hate the way this game controls. Luckily, I have a specific game that I'm going to be talking about a little bit later that lets you play this a little bit better than you normally would if you're just holding it in your hand. But I wasn't a big fan of it. But the music's cool and the graphics are nice. But gameplay-wise, I was just like, I do not like the way some of these games are being designed. Let me see. Do I have any other? No, not yet. Okay. I picked this up for like $3 at a Target. Epic Mickey, Power of Illusion. Have not played it yet. I opened it up because the cartridge had come loose and I didn't want it banging around in here. But it's a side-scrolling Mickey game. I enjoyed some of the Epic Mickey games. I think I played the first one a little bit and I enjoyed it. So I figured a side-scrolling one on the go would not be a bad idea. Final Fantasy Explorers, got this off the Square Enix website. They had one of those gigantic like clearance sales, and I got this for like $3 or $4. So I haven't played it yet because RPG, but it looks fantastic, and I don't know where this fits into the franchise itself, but it just says explore a new world, adventure solo, or together with 2 to 4 player co-op. Battle together with up to 4 players over 20 jobs to explore and master iconic Final Fantasy characters and monsters. Okay, so is this an MMO? I don't know. I haven't opened it yet, so I can't comment. I picked this one up because I started to learn as I got back into collecting which games were more sought after than others. Like franchises, like Kirby all of a sudden was a hot commodity, which I still don't understand why. Like older Kirby games are super expensive. And then I learned that Fire Emblem Awakening, the new Fire Emblem game was coming out, and I learned that the Fire Emblem games were super expensive. So I was like, I've always wanted to play a Fire Emblem game. I should probably buy that before it raises up in price and it's unobtainable like most of the other games in the franchise. So I picked it up, tried it out when I first got it, and I liked it. It's a strategy RPG, and it's actually pretty fun. It's like a tactical one, and I enjoyed it. I just need to set time aside to play it. This would be the first game of the franchise I've ever actually played. I do own, I think, 2 of them now. I have the one for the Wii, and I think I have the one for the game. No, do I have the one for the GameCube? Fire Emblem? I don't think so. No, I don't. I just have the one for the Wii. I have this and the Wii. Okay. But there are also 2 other games for this franchise on the 3DS. I don't know if I want to get those, but it's kind of like that Pokemon scenario where it's like you only get half the game because on one cartridge and the other half of the game is on the other or something. So poop on that. Drinky drink. So how's everybody doing tonight? Everyone staying safe? Staying indoors, avoiding the peoples, being as antisocial as possible without going stir crazy? Hey Pikmin, I got this at a Target when Nintendo decided that they were going to discontinue the 3DS. A lot of the big chain stores, the mega stores or whatever, they started trying to clearance out their 3DS games so they can make room for Switch stuff. And I got Hey Pikmin for like $7 or $8, and I was like, yes, okay, fine. I've always wanted this game because I like Pikmin as a franchise, so I picked it up. And it looks like it's a sort of smaller version. It looks kind of like Rayman to me for some reason. I have not played it yet. It is still sealed. Haven't had a chance to do so because I keep on buying games for this console, but I have not even charged it in, like I said, a year. So here's the one I was talking about that lets you play that Dream Trigger a little bit better. We're talking Kid Icarus Uprising. Why does this come in such a huge box? I'll explain. But anyway, we hadn't gotten a Kid Icarus game, like a dedicated Kid Icarus game, since the Game Boy. That was of Myths and Monsters, which I did have back in the day. Sadly, I sold it because that is an expensive effing game right now, and I wish I had it in my collection because I love the original Kid Icarus, and I loved playing the one on the Game Boy. This is nothing like that. This is like an into-the-screen... It's like a half and half. Like into-the-screen shooter, like Star Fox when you're playing as Pit, and the other is like a beat-em-up, like a 3D beat-em-up. And it's really weird because you have to use the stylus as well as the controls, and it's really impossible to do. So why it comes in this big-ass box is because there's this, what do they call it? Like a rack? Stand. It's a stand that you can put the Game Boy... So I keep on calling it a Game Boy. It's a stand you can put the 3DS on, so you don't have to hold it. So you can use the controls as well as the stylus at the same time, and you don't have to like worry about just holding the 3DS, because I'm sure people were dropping this shit. So that makes playing that Dream... What's it called? Dream Trigger 3D a little easier, as well as this game. But the game is fun. It has absolutely beautiful graphics, and the music is beyond awesome. I absolutely love it. This was one of the first games I bought when I got my 3DS, and for good reason, because I'm a huge Kid Icarus fan. We need more Kid Icarus games in our lives. Check this one out. It's fantastic. Next up, it has another big box. So I ordered this one just because. And then I found out it's part of a franchise, and honestly, to save my life, I cannot remember what franchise that is. Was it Romance? No, I can't remember. Maybe you guys can tell me. I don't remember. But we're talking The Legend of Legacy. So I got this launch day edition, which was not too much more expensive, just the game itself, which was pretty cool. And this huge-ass box comes with this gigantic hardcover art book, which has got such awesome artwork in it. I absolutely love the drawings of the characters and everything. The different sketches of each one before they became finalized and all that. Like, how do you go from this to this? It just cracks me up. And it also comes with a soundtrack, or a sampler, actually. It has 10 tracks on it from the game, which is fantastic. I love getting these soundtracks. That way I don't have to like go scouring the internet for downloads. I just have it right here. But haven't played it yet because I got wind that it was part of a franchise, so I was like, I'll put it off until I find out I find the other games in that franchise. But right now I cannot remember for the life of me what this franchise that this is a part of is. If you guys know, like I said, let me know. I cannot remember. Next up, we have Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds. I did not get this with the Link Between Worlds 3DS that I had bought originally. I had to buy this separately because the 3DS came with a download code, and I don't do downloads. I hate that. I didn't want to take up an entire chunk of the memory built into the 3DS, since I don't think you could have put another memory card in there. I think it had to do with what was in the console, if I remember correctly. So I was not going to take up space with an entire game when I can just buy it. And that's exactly what I did. I got this at that, what's the name of that store that was there? Disc Replay. I found this there for like $20, and that was the only place where I would find like Nintendo only, Nintendo first party games really cheap. Everywhere else they were still expensive as hell, but I'm really sad that Disc Replay closed, because I found a lot of games that are normally like $40-$50. I found them like this, $20 on the cheap. Haven't played it yet, but everyone tells me this is one of the better games in the franchise, and the gimmick in this one is Link can become part of a wall, like a painting, like a chalk painting, and cross walls, kind of like a shadow. It's interesting. Everyone tells me that one's great. And then this was one of the favorite games that I played, whatever year it was that it came out. I don't remember. I bought it day one, and I got maybe 3/4 of the way through. I didn't actually beat it, but I liked it so much I put it on my list. And that's the Majora's Mask 3D remake of this Nintendo 64 game. And I never played this back in the day. I had really lost interest in the 64 when this game came out. I bought Ocarina of Time. I got stuck early on in the game, probably like 6 hours in, and I did not want to have to restart and play those 6 hours all over again. I was really pissed off. And then when this game came out, I was like, I don't like the 3D or the 64 anymore, so pooey on you. So I picked this up because now, I've grown up. And it's a really, really fun, like, 3D Legend of Zelda game. This one is all about putting these masks on. Like, there's a moon that's going to crash into this alternate reality version of, I think it was Hyrule. And you have, like, so many hours before it ends the world. And then if it does, like, the world starts over, the day starts over. It's kind of like Groundhog Day, the video game. And then we also have the Ocarina of Time remake in 3D. And I need to play through this because I do not want to hook up my damn 64 to my TV because I hate playing games on that 64 controller. What's up, 8-Bit Glitch? You see something? Right there? Maybe, possibly, could be. Oh my god. But yeah, I need to play through that. I need to finally, it's the Cartridge Club Game of the Month, Ocarina of Time. I should probably play it, right? So I can finally experience the whole thing. Haven't opened this one yet, but Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. I got this while I was at Gen Con. And I think this was the year that the auction did not have a whole lot of video game stuff to offer like it did the previous year. So I went to that GameStop that's in the mall that's attached to the convention center that Gen Con takes place. And found this, and the day that I went to that GameStop, they had discounted a whole bunch of stuff, and this was one of them. I got this for like $15, brand new. Still sealed. Yeah, how many times do you go to GameStop and you buy an older game that's still sealed and not get the one that's like, oh, that's our display version? So there's that. And this one is kind of like a multiplayer game, I want to say. Kind of like the Four Sword Heroes, or Four Sword Adventures that came out on the GameCube, I guess. But you can play it single player. It looks interesting. I haven't popped it open yet because Legend of Zelda. This is the closest you're going to get to playing a Grand Theft Auto game on a Nintendo console, and that is Lego City Undercover: The Chase Begins. There was a Lego City Undercover for the Wii U that was really popular for a while. Like, it was really expensive. I don't know why. I think it was because it got discontinued really early on, and then the popularity of it made them reprint it, and then they got a sequel, and now it's on the Switch, and I think it's on the PS4 and the Xbox One and all that. Whatever. But this is like the prequel to that. And it's not, I think it is a 3D game. Yeah, this isn't like your typical Lego game where it's like go around, blow things up, collect Legos. This one's actually like a story, an original story at that, about the City Undercover, or the Lego City franchise of Legos. So, haven't tried it out yet, though. I got that at the same time I got that Legend of Zelda game, the Triforce Heroes. Here's this one. This one has a special box. Okay, so I went to a GameStop like 2 or 3 years ago or whatever, and I just gotten like I don't know if it was my tax return or my bonus, but I went to a GameStop with the intention of buying some new games. And there were some new games that came out for the 3DS, There was some new games I was looking for the Xbox One, and I found this for the 3DS. It's Lord of Magne, Made in Heaven. It's a funny play on words. Made in. And I was like, oh, look, another RPG. This looks pretty cool. And I was like, yes, need to have it. So I bring the box, which was sitting on the shelf. Actually, it was for the used. It was in the used section of the 3DS games. I brought the used case up to the front, and they were like, oh, okay, fine. They gathered everything up that I was buying that day. There was a couple of Wii U games, I think, and I think one game for the Xbox One. And when they handed it over to me, they gave me this. So this is I don't know if it's a limited edition. It doesn't really say. But I guess the original version of this came with an outer box like this, and it came with a soundtrack. I don't know how many tracks are on it. It doesn't really say. 28 tracks. It's on the back of the box. And I was like, what the hell is this? And they're like, this is the game you wanted. I'm like, okay. So I basically got a sealed copy of the game with the outer box and the soundtrack for the used price. And I think I got this for like $15. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm not going to bring it up ever again. Just give me the game. Haven't played it yet because RPG. You guys seen a pattern forming here whenever it comes to RPGs with me? I buy RPGs because I like them. Never have time to play them. This is a game I never thought we would ever get. Luigis Mansion, Dark Moon. I never thought we'd ever get a sequel to Luigi's Mansion because I remember when the GameCube first came out, everyone was whining and complaining about Luigi's Mansion for that console because it was a launch game. And I remember everyone going like, this isn't a Mario game. I want a Mario game. This isn't a Mario game. What is this crap? What is it, Ghostbusters with Luigi? No, that's not what I want. I never played it, so I couldn't comment. But got popular. Eventually, everybody grew the hell up, played the game, realized it's actually pretty fun, and it got a sequel, and now it has another one on the Switch, which I need to pick up. I haven't played the sequel yet, though, because I still need to beat the first one, but it's more the same. You're playing as Luigi, you're in a haunted mansion, and you are collecting ghosts. There you go. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. This is another, like, Super Mario RPG sequel-esque, or spin-off, I don't know. They can't call the game Super Mario RPG anymore because of Square, so they changed the franchise to Mario and Luigi, like Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Advance was, I think, the first game after Mario RPG. And it just kept on going. So it's like a Mario and Luigi adventure RPG, I guess. Haven't played this one yet because I need to play all the other ones in the franchise. But it looks fun. And Mario Kart 7. This was the last game I needed to complete my Mario Kart collection. So I have a complete Mario Kart set. I have every game for every console. And on top of Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, I also have it for the Switch, like the deluxe version for the Switch. But this was the last one that I needed to complete the set. And I just could not find this anywhere. And I wanted the version that came with the red case, but I couldn't find it. I really don't care anymore. I'm just glad that I have the game. But the reason I could never find it the way I wanted was it never came with the manual, and I wanted it complete. So I finally found this at Half Price Books of all places, the place that I would think to find this every time I would go there because it was a common game. People get sick of it. No, I found this like a year ago, or maybe a little more than a year ago. And it's actually really fun. It's like everything that Mario Kart 8 became, or was due to this game and everything they put in here with like the gliding and everything. It's a really fun Mario Kart game. I like it a lot, but it's not nearly as good as Mario Kart 8, as far as I'm concerned. I will never open this game. I bought it just so I could complete a set, okay? Don't complain. You'll know why I haven't opened it when you see what it is. And we're talking Metroid Prime Federation Force. Fans were complaining that we hadn't gotten any new Metroid anything in the longest time. And finally Nintendo, I guess at one of those, I think it was the first year that they did that Nintendo World Championship thing since like the 90s. They announced, yeah, we got this new Metroid game coming out. Here it is. You're going to be playing a part of it as one of the games that you have to play in the competition. And it wasn't even the core game itself. It's like a little side game called Blast Ball. But the game itself it doesn't really have anything to do with Metroid. It's just kind of like a game that got named Metroid to shut people up. And in order to have a complete Metroid collection, which I do have, I had to buy this. I will not play it. Because yes. Don't judge me. Okay. And now we're on to my favorite game on the 3DS, and that is Metroid Samus Returns. This is the special edition. Took some doing to get this because I was a dumbass. and I forgot to pre-order it, and I ended up having to get it off of eBay. I paid a little bit more than I probably should have. Well, it was a little bit more than retail, more than I was willing to pay, but I wanted it so bad because I'm a dumbass. And it comes with a soundtrack. That doesn't say how many. Does it say how many come on the CD? It does not. Boo. But anyway, this is a remake of Metroid 2. I'm sure all of you know this. And Metroid 2 is my least favorite Metroid game. Outside of that, Federation Force garbage. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like the way it controlled. I just didn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I really didn't like the first Metroid either back in the day. But I've grown to enjoy it now. But Metroid 2 just, I hated it when I was a kid. I absolutely hated it. So hearing that there was going to be a remake of it coming out, I was like, yes, I'll play it now because I'm pretty sure they're going to fix all the issues I had. And they totally did. The only thing is they kind of made it like Super Metroid, which is exactly what happened to Zero Mission. But I absolutely love this game. There's like the whole counter thing that you can do now, which I know a lot of people had a problem with. Like if a monster attacks, you can counter and you'll stun it, and you can shoot it like with one hit and kill it, instead of actually taking like 5 or 6 shots to kill a monster or a creature or whatever. But it's absolutely fantastic. I love this game to death. I played through it I don't know how many times. I played through it I think twice. Love it, love it, love it. It's way better than Metroid 2 that we got on the Game Boy. This is probably one of my other favorite. This is like a definite diamond in the rough for the 3DS. It's called Nano Assault. I bought this because it was dirt cheap on Amazon. And when I brought it home, or I got it when it showed up, I played it, and I beat this in like 3 sittings. I absolutely, I didn't play anything else. I think this was the game that I started playing that made me forget about Bravely Default, if I remember correctly, because I got so into this. So it's by this developer called, where is their name? Shin. And I've really grown to love Shin as a developer. So the whole idea behind this game is it is like a twin-stick shooter almost. But the thing is, your character stays stationary in the middle of the screen. And you are moving, but the thing is, the background is what's moving instead of your ship. Like, you're staying, and that's the way the 3D effect works, because the 3D in this game is probably the best glassesless 3D I've ever seen. And it blew my mind a little bit. Like, I'd be playing this, and I was like, I cannot believe that I'm seeing these things on a handheld console. So, like I said, your ship will stay stationary, but the console, or the background that you're playing on, or the field that you're playing on, will rotate as you're moving. And you're playing as this ship that's been shrunk down to like a microscopic size, and you're blowing up bacteria and stuff like this that are on these cells that you're trying to cultivate. And it is really fun, like super fun. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. The music is great. It's like this really energetic techno electronic music. The gameplay is great. Everything about it. The 3D, like I said, is some of the best 3D. Do I have Nano Assault? Really? Let's see here. New Super Mario Brothers 2. Got this at a GameStop really, really cheap. They had like a buy 3 or buy 2 get 1 free, and this was my free. But I'm not a big fan of the new Super Mario Brothers games. I just think they're really, really slow. And like after playing something like Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land or whatever it was, this was like going backwards to me. So I bought it because it's a Mario game and I love Mario. And, if I want to just play something real quick when I'm on the toilet or when I'm, in the backseat of someone's car or I'm at work, there's this. But I don't think I'll ever really sink any real time into it. Picked this up because it was dirt cheap at Target. PacMan and Galaga Dimensions. It's basically PacMan Champion Edition, Galaga, and Galaga Legions. It's got like the original versions and the upgraded 3D versions. So like now Galaga is like playing a tank game where the enemies are coming at your screen. You have like a little reticle and you shoot them. And then the Championship Edition of Pac-Man is just like a bunch of not missions, but like goals you have to accomplish. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. Unless it's Mario's missing. Yeah, Mario's missing. No, thank you. Paper Mario Sticker Star. I haven't played this one yet, but I got this, like, another one. I'm surprised I got super, super cheap on Amazon. And it was like the first batch of games that I bought when I got my 3DS. This was one of them, but I have not really put any time into it yet. But it's like the gimmick with this one is, yes, Mario's still a 2D little piece of paper, but the thing of this was like they're playing through a storybook. So there's like these pages that are always flipping and stuff. And there's stickers, obviously. I haven't played it enough to actually give you a really good description of it, but whatevs. Here we go. This is the one. Okay, so I was really trying to get into this franchise when I bought this, and this special edition came out. There's actually a sequel I need to buy. But I really wanted to get this because of what it's a sequel or a part of, and that's Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. This is the Wild Cards Premium Edition, and I got this off of Amazon. I had waited, I don't know how long, but the thing with the Persona stuff is you don't want to wait too long to purchase them because, yes, they will initially drop in price, but then they will skyrocket because all of a sudden they're collector. Everyone wants one in their collection. So the thing that this one comes with in this gigantic box is it comes with a 3DS case, which is pretty awesome. Has the whole crap load of the characters on it. And it also comes with an art book. Crapola. Open up. Yep, character stuff, character art. It also comes with the Persona Q Sound of the Labyrinth original arranged soundtrack. This only has 4 songs on it, which is lame. And it also comes with a bunch of tarot cards, which I have not opened. I need to play through the Persona games. I'm hoping that the Super Enabler Brothers podcast that I'm on also is going to help me with that because we do a backlog roulette on that game, and the Persona games are on my roulette choice list. So, eventually I will get around to playing this RPG, which I'm sure has all the same things that you expect from a Persona game. There's relationship simulator stuff, there's demon summoning, and there's fights. You didn't like the Q series too much? Like I said, I haven't tried it yet, because I want to play through the other Persona games first. Probably not 5. Pilotwings Resort got this dirt cheap at that store. Disc Replay again. Like I said, they always had Nintendo first-party stuff really cheap. And I think this is a launch game, but it's basically an update of the original Pilotwings on the Super Nintendo. So you have like hang gliding, you have a rocket pack, you have a jet, not a jet, like a biplane. Yep. I always liked Pilotwings. I didn't like the one on the Nintendo 64, but I loved the one on the Super Nintendo, so there's that. Okay, so I have a special edition of this. I have the limited edition of Project X Zone. So what is this? This is like a strategy RPG. And the reason I wanted it was because it is Sega. What is it? Sega, Namco, and Capcom characters all in one game. So you have like Ooh La La, and you have Mega Man, Ryu, Dante from Devil May Cry, Kazuya from Tekken, and a bunch of other characters from games I don't know who they are. But I absolutely had to have this. I ran out and picked it up when it came out. Found it at a Target. The limited edition comes with, obviously, a soundtrack. This is actually a full soundtrack. It has 25 tracks on it. That's awesome. And Project X Zone art book. Official visual book, yeah. Has all the characters in it. You can see all the different shit that's in this game. Resident Evil characters. It tells you what games they're from, too. So you got, like, characters from Super Robot Wars, Tekken, Endless Frontier, Dead Rising, Darkstalkers, Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter, Space Channel 5, Valkyria Chronicles, Residents of Fate. It's crazy. Like, the idea of this just blew my mind, so I was like, I absolutely have to have it. And then I played the game, and I was like, eh. I played it for maybe 5 hours, and I was just kind of like, yeah, it's all right. But there's a sequel to this. I might pick it up eventually. I'm not sure. Oops, I need to put this back in. Get in here. Come on. There we go. Next up we have regular show Mordecai and Rigby in 8-Bit Land. Another cartoon I've never seen, just like Adventure... Well, I've only seen like 3 episodes of Adventure Time. Never seen an episode of regular show, but the reason I picked this one up isn't because I'm a fan of the show or anything like that. It's because it was developed by WayForward, and WayForward's one of my favorite developers. So I wanted to pick it up, but I have not tried it out yet, and it looks just like a side-scrolling, like Metroidvania-style game. But it's done like in this 8-bit style, which is pretty cool. Axel makes an appearance. Nice. So eventually I'll get around to playing this. I love, like I said, WayForward as a developer, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Picked this up because of church. We went to, like last year at the Midwest Gaming Classic. This year never happened because of the freaking plague, so I'm really sad about that. It would have been this past weekend, too. And the weather was great for a change. It's always snowed when I've gone to the MGC. This year it did not, and the convention never happened. Anyway, Church was really searching for this game last year at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I was kind of like, oh, I kind of do want that game. I've always kind of wanted that game. Why do I keep on forgetting about it? So I got back from the convention, and I found a copy on Amazon really, really cheap. It's still sealed. Haven't played it yet, obviously. But it's Resident Evil, The Mercenaries 3D. I guess this is like a follow-up to Resident Evil 5, I want to say, or something, or a side story. Yeah, but it's like so you can play single-player, co-op, in 3D, Resident Evil, why not? So I picked that one up. River City Rival Showdown. Got this off of Amazon when it was first released. It actually has a keychain inside, but I haven't opened it up yet because I have not beaten River City Tokyo Rumble, which was the game that came out before this. So, this one had a keychain too, if I remember. Yep, there's a keychain in there. These are, the Kunio-kun games in Japan. They've made a resurgence recently, which I think is awesome. They're like RPG beat-em-ups, which are really cool. And I was really enjoying this one, but, this one came out before I could beat this, so I haven't gotten around to playing this one. But I really enjoyed what I have played of Tokyo Rumble. Okay, so when I was still doing pickup videos, like the actual edited ones, I claimed that I had a complete collection of this franchise, and it turned out I didn't, because I did not realize it had made a resurgence, just kind of like a lot of the games that came out for the 3DS. And that's the RPG Maker franchise. I thought I had all of them. Turns out there was one released for the 3DS, RPG Maker FES. F-E-S, I don't know what that stands for. But build and share the RPG you've always dreamed of. You can make your own RPGs with this. And Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming and I were talking about actually making RPGs with this and sending them to each other and then reviewing them on our respective channels. And didn't happen because, like, right after I bought this, a version for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One was announced, and it's been delayed repeatedly for the last year. So we were like, yeah, let's not worry about the handheld version. Let's do it for the consoles. It'll be a lot easier to play and to review and to get footage. So, yeah, I haven't played this yet because I'm anticipating playing the newer versions. But make your own RPG. I've always loved that idea. I really like the ones that came out for the PS1 and the PS2. Samurai Warriors Chronicles. It's like a simplified version of a Samurai Warriors or a Dynasty Warriors game. It's just a non-stop beat-em-up, Musu or Musou. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Just on the 3DS. Picked that up dirt cheap. I was looking for this one for a while, and it took me forever to get a copy of it, like, at least at a decent price, because for some reason this got really expensive for a while, and then I found it, like, just as the price dipped. And that's the Sega 3D Classics Collection. This has 9 classic Sega games in one game. Power Drift, Puyo Puyo 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Fantasy Zone 2, Altered Beast, Fantasy Zone 2W, whatever. The original Fantasy Zone 2, Galaxy Force 2, Thunderblade, and Maze Walker. I think that's supposed to say Maze Walker. Or whatever, but they're like remastered for 3D. Or they're made to be able to play in 3D even better than they normally would. Which is pretty fantastic. And I liked playing Galaxy Force on this in 3D. It works pretty well. Power Drift is pretty cool. The other games in 3D were just kind of like Sonic and all that. I was like, no. But I was glad that I picked that one up. I got this one off of, I can't remember the name of it was like an online video game trade website. I don't remember the name of it. But Shifting World. Turns out the place that I had gotten this from when it got shipped to me was right down the street. It was a pawn shop down the street. If I had known, I would have gone to pick it up there instead of having them pay for the shipping. But it's a puzzle platformer, from what I understand. It's all done in black and white, really high-angled, contrasty type stuff. So, yeah, Shifting World is the first of the Shift series to adapt its famous puzzle gameplay to full 3D. Haven't really put a lot of time into it, so I really can't talk about it. And then we got these sons of bitches. So, as you see, I'm talking about the Persona games, and that extends into the core series, which is the Shin Megami Tensei series, and there's a ton of them. There's like the core Shin Megami Tensei, which I think started on the Famicom back in the day, and then there's like the spin-offs, and then there's the Personas and all this kind of stuff. So the mainline game got a direct sequel on the 3DS, and that's Shin Megami Tensei 4. And I had been looking for this for the longest time, and it was really, really expensive. Then I go to my local half-price books, and they had it for like $20. And it comes with this gigantic, look how thick this is, this gigantic strategy and design book. It's basically a hint book. It has all the information needed on every character in it. Spells, castings, all that stuff. It's crazy. And it also comes with a soundtrack. And the thing is, they never took any of this stuff. They left this entire box, minus the game. They took this entire box and left the book and the soundtrack in the box on the shelf. Anyone could have just walked out with this stuff. But thankfully, nobody did. And I ended up getting it dirt cheap, like I said, and I was super thrilled that I did. But I need to play the other games in the franchise first, so can't really comment. But, you know, let's see what it says here. As the protectors of the Eastern Kingdom of Mikado, the Secret Order of the Samurai is tasked with defending the kingdom from a growing army of demons. The fulfillment of this duty will take them outside the kingdom and into Tokyo and bring to light several factions with competing designs on the outcome of the world. The decisions players make throughout the course of the story will have lasting repercussions. More than 400 demons to recruit, collect, and fuse together. Okay. And use the press turn system to exploit your opponent's weaknesses and crush them in combat. It looks rad as hell. But I have the first game on the Super Nintendo. I got a repro of it. And it looks fantastic. It's on my RPG roulette for the Super Enabler Brothers podcast. And then we also have another game in the series, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker. And I got this at Half Price Books also, but they had this like in their specialty case because they figured someone would steal the soundtrack that's in here, unlike Shin Megami Tensei 4, which made no sense to me. But it comes with like a sticker of one of the characters. Whatever this is. Character stickers. Yeah. Character stickers. And a soundtrack. And this has 4 tracks on it. Lame! 4 tracks. Give me a break. You got a whole CD to play with here. Derp. Anyway, haven't played it because I want to play the other games in the series. And this is part 2 of a sub-series, so I need to get that first. So at least I have it. When I get the original one, it'll happen. Spirit Camera, I picked this one up when I first got my 3DS, and this is like an augmented reality game. So the game comes with this like diary. And you're playing the game, and you're like walking around, and it'll say, turn to page so-and-so in the diary. And like when you look at the book itself, it doesn't have really anything on it. It's like a blank page or whatever, just has some marks on it. You aim the camera on your 3DS at the page, and like something will come out of the book right in your face, like a hand or something will jump out in 3D. And it's kind of spooky the first couple times, but after a while, just kind of like, eh. What's up, Captain Algebra? Forever. Remember Ken Ev, y'all. No Soul Hackers? No, I don't have Soul Hackers. Sorry. I should get it. I want all the Shin Megami Tensei games, but there are so many of them, it's hard to keep track. So that's a pretty fun little augmented reality horror game. Star Fox 64 3D. This is my preferred version of Star Fox 64. I really couldn't get into the one on the Nintendo 64. I got rid of it back in the day. I bought it, played it for a few days, and I was just kind of like, eh, and I got rid of it. But playing this nowadays is a lot better, especially in 3D. I really like it. But is it supposedly like a remake of the original game just on the 64 and not a direct sequel? I can't remember. But I liked it a lot. Way better than the 64 version, in my opinion. This is the game that like made me go, okay, I love my 3DS now. I absolutely love it. And that is Steel Diver. Okay, so it's a side-scrolling submarine game. All right. But the 3D is absolutely fantastic. It is super fun. You actually have to use the bottom screen. You have to use the stylus. Minimally, you can actually just use your finger because the depth gauge that you need to raise and lower is on that screen. You have to like move it around to move up and down on the board. And whenever you beat a level, you have a periscope torpedoing level in 3D. And you actually need to be sitting in a chair that rotates to play it because you need to turn yourself 360 degrees to see the things that are coming at you so you can shoot them. It is super fun. I played this game for days and days and days. I remember I took this with me on the toilet one day, and I was just kind of like, oh, yeah, I made a mistake because I can't play the periscope levels while you're sitting on the shitter. So, yeah, but it's a fantastic game, and it's dirt cheap now. I highly recommend picking it up, and it's a ton of fun. Super Mario 3D Land, like I was saying, I'm not a big fan of the new Super Mario Brothers games. I think they're too slow. Stuff like this is what spoiled me. It's a super fun game. I love the one on the Wii U. I haven't really played this one a whole lot yet because, like I said, I haven't booted up my 3DS in like a year, over a year. And I really need to because I absolutely love the Wii U version, so I'll probably love this just as much. Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS. Don't really need to talk about it all that much because I think everybody who has a 3DS has a copy of that in their library. I found this at Half Price Books really, really cheap, and I was really happy because every time I do see this game, it does not come with this really cool holographic slipcover. We're talking Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition, and it has like that lenticular cover. You can't really, it's not really moving all that much, but you can. It looks kind of 3D just looking at it like that. So yeah, 3D or Super Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS. It plays okay. It's not the greatest port of the game. Like on a handheld, it's not awesome. But I mean, it's still Street Fighter 4, so I mean, you can get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. But I'd rather just play the actual console game on my TV. World's a lot better. Yeah, I haven't really put any time into that, so I need to. I don't know why I bought this. I got this for like $1 somewhere, and I was like, oh, cool. It's got robots in it. Tenka Knight's Brave Battle. I'm probably going to get rid of this. I think this is based on a cartoon or something, or an anime or something. And like I said, I bought it for $1, and I've never played it, and it does not look that great. So I might just set this aside and get rid of it at some point. We'll see. But I do love this one. This one is fantastic. So I'm a huge rhythm game fan, and this like update to the original version came out, and I got it on Black Friday at Best Buy for like half price. And we're talking Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy. This is the Curtain Call edition. This version, I think the original Theater Rhythm only had like 20 or 25 songs in it. This one has 221 songs featuring over 60 characters from Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's a rhythm game meets an RPG. And it is fantastic. All the music is from all the different Final Fantasy games. You play as characters from those Final Fantasy games when you're doing the rhythm section of it. It is absolutely fantastic. I love this game. I love rhythm games. In my monthly pickup video that you're going to see at the end of this month, there's going to be a rhythm game in there that I just purchased, and you're going to be like, why? And I'm going to be like, it's a rhythm game. I needed to have it. And the last game I have for the 3DS is the Yoshis New Island, which I got dirt cheap at, the name of the place again, Disc Replay. Like I said, it was the only place I would find Nintendo stuff, like first-party games, dirt cheap. And I haven't played this one yet, but I don't know if it's a port of Yoshi's Island or a new sequel to it or whatever, but yeah. And that's it for the 3DS. So now we have the Vita, which, like I said at the beginning of the stream, kind of comes full circle. Got rid of my original version of the 3DS that I had owned, the Link Between Worlds edition 3DS that I had, and I traded it for a Switch so I could. And my intention was originally to sell that 3DS to get the new Nintendo 3DS, the one that was like updated, and ended up just trading it for a PS Vita, which is awesome too. So I basically got 2 new consoles on the same day. And like I said, a lot of these games that I have for the Vita are from limited run. Because a lot of the places near me did not seem to carry very many Vita games, and they were always the same ones that I already had. So like I'd go to Target and be like, I want to get a new Vita game, and it would always be the same 3. They never seemed to get anything new. Like I said, it was dead when I bought it, basically, which I thought was kind of sad because once I started playing the games, I was like, these are really fun. So the only place I was able to get new games was limited run because they were constantly releasing a PS Vita version of whatever game they were offering that week. The only problem is I haven't played most of them. Like this one, like Aqua Kitty, Milk Mine Defender DX. And to me, it always looked like Defender, like where you play as that little cat in a sub. Yeah. I have played this, Army Corps of Hell. I got this off of the Square Enix website when they had one of their clearance sales. And I played it for a little while, and it's kind of like a strategy game, and I kind of didn't dig it. I was playing this on the plane when I was on my way to visit my brother in LA, and I was just kind of like, I might have made a mistake. It wasn't that much fun. Here's another limited run. The Bit Trip Limited Edition. These are like running simulators, if I remember correctly. And I wanted to have at least one of the games in this franchise, so this is the one that I chose. Like I said, it hasn't been opened yet. Captain Algebra is probably so disappointed in me for having all of these sealed games. How many versions of this game do I have? God damn. So, I love the BlazBlue fighting game, so I have BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma. What? Chrono Phantasma, yeah, Extend. One-on-one fighting game. And it actually plays really well on the Vita, surprisingly. It is actually pretty fun. And it looks and plays just like a console version. You're opening all my sealed games. You're going to be here for a couple of days. I have this for, I think, the PS3 also. But like I said, this isn't like the Switch. I don't have a portable version. So in case I want to play a BlazBlue game on the go, I have it for the Vita. Picked this one up because of Church. Church, the game grinder, told me I needed to buy this. It's Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils. And it's I think a Metroidvania style game, I think. So I picked it up. Still haven't played it. Like I said, I haven't booted up my 3DS in like a little over a year. I haven't booted up my Vita in probably 2 years. Which is kind of sad. But got a Switch, got PS4, got the Xbox One. Yeah, I'm kind of busy. Chrysler Sigma. Got this from Limited Run also. I think this is an RPG. I do believe. Haven't played it yet. Which one are you talking about? Oh, BlazBlue games? That's the one you don't own? I think I got this at a GameStop of all places. So, give them a call, bruh. Also got this from, like I said, 90% of the games are for Limited Run. Curses and Chaos. I think this is like a multiplayer arena game, if I remember. Haven't played it because it's still sealed. Demo, The Last Recital. I think this is like a RPG rhythm game. I don't remember. I can't read it. The text is so small. The game that touched more than 5 million people around the world. What was this, like a mobile game that got put on a Vita cartridge? Probably. Picked up Dragon Fantasy, the Black Tome of Ice. Got this from Limited Run also. Limited edition. I don't know what's limited about it. I think I might have come with something I have in the other room. I can't remember. But this is an RPG also. And, like, I love the fact that there are tons of RPGs on the Vita. It's basically, the Vita is basically like a portable PlayStation 3. And it's kind of amazing. I remember you could cross-play between this and the PlayStation 3 if I'm not mistaken. So, like, playing these games, like, this one is actually kind of retro-themed, but, like, talking about some of these games, they look like, when I come to one that's at the very end here, it's like basically playing a PlayStation 3 game in the palm of my hand. Kind of impressive. PlayStation 2.5 technically, yeah. Drive Girls, I picked this up at GameStop, and it was like the last Vita game that they had that wasn't in one of those generic boxes of theirs. And they were selling it for like $10, so I was like, yeah, why not? And it's like an RPG racing game, from what I understand. I guess. I don't know. Haven't tried it. Because I haven't booted up my Vita. Have played this, though. This was on my list of favorite games of whatever year it was that this came out. Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe. Earth Defense Force 2, Invaders from Planet Space. I hadn't played an Earth Defense Force game in I don't know how long. And then my brother took me to Game Dude in LA. And I went absolutely crazy in there. That place is insanity. I need to go back to LA just so I could go in that place. There's so many games, really good prices for the most part. And this was one of the games I picked up while I was there because I had brought my Vita with me and I was trying to buy more Vita games if I could find them dirt cheap. And this was the one that I picked up. They also had the one for the PS4. I avoided buying that. I said I'd get that later on, but I had my Vita with me. I could play it right then and there, and I absolutely loved it. It's like playing Starship Troopers, the video game. You have a bunch of characters to choose from. You have these different weapon loadouts you can attach to different characters. You have like different classes of characters, and you basically load them up with guns, send them into a city, and destroy gigantic bugs. And it is just super fun. There's a reason why this game is still, popular now. This franchise is still popular now. It is so much fun. Your Twitter response? Oh. Exile's End, Limited Run also, and I do believe this is a Metroidvania, which is why I bought it, because I love Metroidvanias. Finding the time to play them is something totally different. Fallen Legion, Flames of Rebellion. This is another RPG, and it also came with like this extra booklet, which is like, what is it, songs? What? It's like song lyrics and shit. What? Okay. But I do believe this is part of a franchise, and I don't have any of the other games. No, I think I do for the PS4. But I remember seeing something for this on, I think, Play Asia somewhere. But it's an RPG, and I have not had time to play it. This I have played. This is one of the games that came with my Vita when I got it. When I did the trade, the guy that I got it from, who was on Facebook, a friend of mine on Facebook, he had like 5 games that he gave me with it, and this was one of them. I think this is the only one he's given me that I've showed off so far. Yes, this is the one I've shown. This is the only one that he gave me, and that is the God of War collection. And this has God of War 1 and God of War 2 remastered on it. And they look and play just as good as I remember. I mean, they look better, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to play the first 2 God of War games in the palm of my hand. So I was thrilled about that. Also had to make sure I picked up a copy of Gravity Rush. This is one of the first games I bought for the PS Vita. And it's like a action platformer, but the thing is your character can control gravity. So you can like jump up in the air and then shift gravity, and you can like fly to the sides of buildings and stand and walk around on sides of buildings and stuff like that. You can actually just float around by constantly shifting the gravity around. It's really, really fun. And they got a sequel and a remaster on the PS4. Limited run again. Home, a unique horror adventure. It's like an 8-bit horror game. And that intrigued me. So I needed to pick it up, and naturally I haven't played it yet. Balloon Fight. I saw your pickup video, Cap, of your newest Video Games Monthly video. And yeah, that Balloon Fight. I like the fact that you showed your broken cart versus your real one, what they do. La Mulana. What is this? La Mulana EX. I think there's a remaster of this coming out on the Switch. Oh, something in my tongue. Yeah. And this is like a platformer, I want to say. Yeah, this is like a platformer. And it looked kind of cool, so I picked it up. I think you might have just got a screwed up board. This is one of the games that came with the PS Vita when I got it. Little Big Planet PS Vita. It's like a pint-sized version of the Little Big Planet games. And I don't know if you can actually... Yeah, you can still create and share levels via 3G or Wi-Fi. So it's like a platformer, but it also has a level creator mode, which I think why everyone plays this game is for that mode alone. These are the same people that made that game Dreams that just came out for the PS4, which is all about making your own video games, which I own, which is fantastic, and I'm totally afraid of it. So this one's kind of funny. Everyone, like, this game was super expensive. I don't know why people were, like, going crazy for copies of this game. It was going for, like, $90 at one point. And I was like, I am not paying $90 for 2 remasters of some older games. I'm like, there's no way. And then, like, randomly, I got a message from Groupon, and they were like, hey, we have this game for this so-and-so price. Come and get it. And I was like, for $20, yeah. And that's the Metal Gear HD collection. This has Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on the same cart. And completely remastered and everything. And from what I saw online, they look pretty good, but I have not opened it yet. But I still don't understand why this became like a hot commodity for a little while. I was like, I am not paying like $90 for 2 old-ass Metal Gear Solid games. There's no way. For $20, yeah, I'll jump on it. And the intention was I was going to flip it, but eventually I was just kind of like, there might be a time where I feel like playing Metal Gear on the go, so why not? This is another game that came with the 3DS when I got it, or the Vita when I got it. Mod Nation Racers Road Trip, and I do believe this is... It's a kart racing game, but it's not like licensed on anything. But the deal with this is you can like really customize your karts. And I was kind of like, I played it for like a day, and I was like, I think I'm done with this. It's not nearly as good as any of the other kart racing games I've played in my day. And this was another one that came with the console, Mortal Kombat. So this was kind of like when the guy, Brian, that I did the trade with, when he told me the games that he was willing to give me with the Vita when he gave it to me, when he said, yeah, I've got the port of the Mortal Kombat 9, I was like, yes, you're going to give it to me. Because I would absolutely love to play this on the go. And basically, on the flight back from LA, I played this game on the Vita the entire way. It is fantastic. Yeah, the graphics are a little dumbed down and not nearly as detailed as like the PS3 version. Of course, it's a handheld console. It's not going to be that powerful and be able to run, at a good frame rate. But it looks great for a handheld console. It plays just like Mortal Kombat. It has everything in it that the console version had, including all the extra characters. And I remember I played the story mode all the way back from LA to Chicago, and I had a blast doing it. So it's a great port of a great Mortal Kombat game. Musinks, I got this from Limited Run, haven't opened it yet, but it's a rhythm game, and it looks kind of interesting, but I love me some rhythm games, so of course I had to pick it up. I still don't know why I bought these. I know why I bought the first one. I was like, ooh, I need to have a game in this sort of franchise, not a franchise, but this sort of genre, at least one in my collection. And then the sequel came out, and I was like, ugh. But they just recently released like a third game for the Switch, and I was like, no, I'm not buying anymore. We're talking, I can't remember which one's the first. Shit. I think it's this one, Nurse Love Addiction. It's like a visual novel where you're trying to date some like anime girl nurses. And I was just kind of like, I've never played a visual novel before, at least not that I remember. And I was just kind of like, yeah, this is like one of those weird, creepy anime games. I'm like, I might as well try it out. And then they released a sequel, Nurse Love Syndrome, which I have not played. But there's a new one that just came out. I think it's still available on Limited Run Games for the Switch, and I will not buy it, but don't quote me on it. Beating Ocelot and Metal Gear Solid 3 with the Vita sticks was tough. Kind of stopped playing after that. Hot nurse girl on girl action with really creepy endings. Ooh, I feel dirty. I remember I was like buying every single Limited Run game that was being released. Every time they had a sale for a new game, I was always buying at least one copy of it. This was one of the games that I missed. And it was because I was going to Gen Con and I didn't want to be spending any money. But then after I got back from Gen Con, I found one for maybe $5 more than it was going for when it was being sold on Limited Run. And that's Octodad, Dadliest Catch. It's like a physics-based game where you play as like this octopus pretending to be like the father, the patriarch of this family, and you basically have a jelly body. It's like you trying to do tasks with a jelly body. Like, how do you play that? And it always looked fun and kind of silly to me, so I wanted a copy of it, even though I had to pass on it originally, but I'm just glad that I was able to get a copy of it eventually. Hey. Absolutely had to get these two games because I love this franchise. One of my goals is to get all the games in this franchise for all the different consoles and everything, regardless if they're games I already own. I just need the first game, which I completely brain farted on when I ordered it. I thought I had ordered it for the PS4 and the Vita, and I ended up just ordering it for the PS4, and I'm stupid. But we're talking the Oddworld games. So we have Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey HD Remaster, and the Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD Remaster. Munch's Odyssey is kind of like playing the original Oddworld games, but you're playing as Munch, one of the bad guys. And it's more of a 3D version of the original Oddworld games. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath is the one that's a first-person shooter, and it's really, really fun. I like it a lot. But I want to get all the different, because I have this for like 3 different consoles. I have this for the PS3. I also have it for the original Xbox, which is the one that I played it on. And I like it a lot. I like this franchise a lot, which is why I want to get all the games. I do not have the original remaster of the first Oddworld game that they released on the Vita. And that's the only one I think I'm missing. Is this a secret? No. Mystery Chronicle One-Way Heroics. I don't know why I bought this, but it's another RPG on the Vita. I got from Limited Run. This one I picked up at Half Price Books, like right in the middle of when it was like really expensive. I don't know why it jumped up in price, but I found it at GameStop, and it was going super expensive on eBay and like Amazon, but I guess that GameStop never got the memo. And I found Odin Sphere Left Thrasier, like the remaster of Odin Sphere, on the Vita for, I want to say it was like $35 at GameStop, and it was like going for like 60, 70, 80 or whatever it was online, and I was like, I don't understand. It's a remaster. But it was because the Vita was dying, and everyone was trying to get the good games for the Vita before it disappeared off shelves. But I'm super glad that I have this on the go. I also have the one on the PlayStation 2. I need to get the one on the PS4. Yeah, I was surprised. It was like going for a super amount of money. I don't understand why. I never understand why certain games jump up in price the way they do. Oregon Trail, the Complete Edition. This is one of the only games I've ever downloaded off of Steam. I figured it was simple enough that it wouldn't be anything too graphically taxing for my Mac. But it's like a parody of the Oregon Trail that I used to play on Apple IIG or 2E or whatever in grade school in the early 80s. And it's like a horror zombie version of it. And I played it on Steam a lot, and it's a lot of fun. So I figured playing it on the go on the Vita would be fun also. Got that from Limited Run. Found this while I was at LA visiting my brother, and I picked up a copy of Persona 4 Golden. This is like the definitive edition of Persona 4, I guess. A lot of people seem to prefer this to the PlayStation 2 version, which I think is kind of funny. Handheld version better than the console version. Okay, but I guess it's like the definitive edition version. But haven't played any of the Persona games except for the first one, so can't really comment if it's any good or not. I think this one has a sequel, Rainbow Moon. This is another RPG from Limited Run. I think there's another game in the series like Rainbow something something. I can't remember. Persona 4, best game on the Vita. Golden has a lot more than the PS2 version. Well, that's good to know. Just got a PS Vita a month ago. Came with 4 loose games. Got to get some more. I have a lot. Haven't played a lot. Rainbow Sky was a second. I knew there was another Rainbow something or other. I just never bought it. It's on PlayAsia? Well, now I know. If I ever get around to playing I haven't charged this thing in like 2 years. I probably should do that tonight just for shits and giggles. Boot this thing up and play it in bed. Ray Gigant, which is another RPG that I got off of Limited Run. It looks freaking beautiful. Play through 3 different points of view to uncover the mystery behind what's happening in this world. Also, you got to play through the game 3 times. Goddamn. But, I mean, it looks freaking amazing. I might just have to boot this one up. Well, there you go. I'll charge up my Vita tonight, and I'll check out Ray Gigant, and maybe I'll report back. Had to get a copy of this, even though I don't need it. Honestly, I should probably get rid of it. Because I have this for the Switch, and why do I need a version on the Vita if I can play it on my Switch? Rayman Legends, my favorite game in this franchise by far. It's a perfect platformer. It's fun. It is adorable. It plays extremely well. A lot of different types of, it's all side-scrolling platforming, but, there's those races where they play, a song, and the game, it's kind of like a rhythm game almost, where things happen according to the beat of the song. It's just so much fun. There's so much content in this game also. It'll take you forever to beat it, or at least 100% it. So, absolutely had to have it. I do believe that's why I have this. I got this from Radical Reggie. He went to, a Savers or something, and he got, copies of this for $1, and he bought every copy they had. And he went on, Facebook or something and said, I got, 6 copies of Rayman Legends. I'm going to send one to this person. I'm going to send one to this person. And I sent him a message on Facebook, and I was like, how about me? And he goes, okay. And he sent it to me. So, I might actually get rid of this now that I don't need it, because I have the version on the Switch. Sorry, Reg. But I do have Rayman Origins. I have this for the PS3, I do believe, also. And this was the one that came out right before Legends. So it's more of the same. It's a side-scrolling action game. Great artwork, great gameplay, great music, great everything. Had to have that. This was one of the first games I picked up. Resistance, Burning Skies. It's another first-person shooter. I think this is a side story to the Resistance games. There's 3 Resistance games on the PS3. This is Resistance 2.5 or something. But it's actually really fun. It plays really, really well. It's not the greatest game. Obviously, the console versions are going to be better, but this one's not bad. It's actually a fun first-person shooter. Yeah. Okay, so I got these 2 games in this franchise. Got these RPGs off of Limited Run also. We're talking Revenant Dogma and Revenant Saga. Don't know which one came first, so your guess is as good as mine. Experience stunning 3D battles and the truth behind the revenge. Whatever. But yeah, old school RPGs, they look like 16-bit almost. Take a look. Judge for yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, got those from Limited Run. Like I said, I was buying every game that they came out with for a while. Nowadays, I'm a lot more picky. So Captain Algebra, I can thank him for this one. So when he came to visit, what was it, a year and a half ago or whatever, when he came out here to go game shopping with me, he told me that he had this PS Vita game. He thought he had bought the PS4 version, and when he bought it from PlayAsia, and when it arrived, he realized he had bought the PS Vita version, and since he didn't have a PS Vita or a PS Vita to play it on, he offered to give it to me in trade for something else, and I gave him a Limited Run game that I didn't want anymore. And we're talking Reverie, which I do believe is kind of like an 8-bit version of Harvest Moon. And it looked interesting, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And we're talking every game that you get from PlayAsia is a limited edition. So he gave me the box and everything, and this comes with the game, a certificate. I got number 2,695 out of 3,000, so I'm pretty close to the end of the run. It comes with a map of the island that you're playing on, and also a soundtrack. 20 tracks of music, which is probably going to be really boring and ASMR-like. Which is pretty cool, though. I mean, like, I was like, cool, new game for my Vita. And I think this is probably one of the last games I bought for my Vita, or I got from my Vita. There's that. Another one I got from Limited Run, and there's a reason for this. Okay, so we're talking Rock Boscher's Director's Cut DX. This is the one I'm thinking it is, because there's really no picture of the game on the back, so yes, I think this is the one it is. Okay, so I looked this up. I was starting to get selective about what I was buying off of Limited Run, and I looked this one up on YouTube to see what footage was, and I was like, this looks like ass. What is this game? Turns out this game is trying to emulate the ZX Spectrum microcomputer that came out in Britain back in the 80s. So the graphics they look like a ZX Spectrum game, and that's intentional. It's trying to emulate that. And I was like, oh! I watch videos from like Kim Justice and a couple of other British YouTubers that talk about retro games from the 80s all the time. They talk about ZX Spectrum games a lot, how they were playing those games in their youth. I also have the Rare Replay on the Xbox One, which Rare used to develop games for the ZX Spectrum. So there's a bunch of games I can actually finally play in that compilation. So because this was emulating the ZX Spectrum, I was like, okay, that's interesting. I think I need to own it. I haven't played it yet, though, because I'm stupid. Shiren the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate. I have Shiren the Wanderer for the Wii, and I picked this one up because it's a sequel, and I really enjoyed what I played of that game on the Wii, so I was like, that'd be kind of cool. But this one is more like an old-school RPG, if you look at it. Yeah, looks like a Final Fantasy game. So I was a little disappointed when it showed up. I got it off of Amazon, I think, dirt cheap, and when it showed up, I was like, oh, I made a mistake. But I picked this one up, not only because it's a franchise I like, but because it was developed by WayForward, and that's Silent Hill Book of Memories. Did not know that WayForward developed a Silent Hill game. That's kind of awesome that they're getting high-profile gigs like this. The only problem is, a lot of people complained about this one and say that's not a freaking Silent Hill game, because this one is like an isometric action-adventure game, and action-adventure horror game, instead of being like a third-person game. Well, you're playing it on this like handheld console. I mean, it could have been done, I guess, but I thought it was cool that they decided to go in a different direction and do something new, and then got criticized for it. Whether it's good or not, I can't say, because it's still sealed and I have not played it. But because of WayForward's involvement, I wanted that so bad. This one I have played. I got this one from Play Asia, I want to say. Soldner X2 Final Prototype. I do believe this... Well, no, did I get this? No, I got this from Limited Run. Eventually, this came out through Play Asia, and I was like, oh, I could have gotten it cheaper. No, I got this through Limited Run. It's a side-scrolling shmup. It's like playing a Gradius game, you know, like a Gradius or a R-Type or anything like that. It's kind of bullet hell-y. I mean, you can see on the back. I enjoyed it. The little bit of it that I did play, I mean, I got maybe 4 levels in, and it started to really ramp up in difficulty, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I think I need to take a step back and reevaluate. And I'll come back once I get my shit back together, and I just never went back to it. But I did enjoy what I played. I just wish that this was available like on a actual home console. But being able to play like a shmup like that on the go is pretty awesome. That's one of the few games I got from Limited Run that I've actually opened. I was like dead set on playing that one when it showed up. I think at that point in time, I was like dying to play a good shmup. Picked this one up while I was at Gen Con. When I got that Legend of Zelda... Which one was it? Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. I also picked up Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. So when I was doing the PS3 videos, I have the original version of this, the non-transformed one, just the Sonic and All-Stars Racing. I said I wanted to get transformed, but I do have the portable version, which is pretty awesome. And the thing about this is it's like a kart racing game with all Sega characters. And the thing is, your cars can change, which is not a big deal. It kind of happens in Mario Kart now, too, where like you're racing in a car, and then you go over water, and it turns into a boat. You know, that kind of stuff. But it looks like you can turn into tanks and stuff, but I've never seen that part of it. But the cool thing about this is it has a couple of exclusive characters. You can play as Wreck-It Ralph or Danica Patrick. But I did play as Wreck-It Ralph, and he's pretty funny when you're playing in the game. And it's a really great kart racing game. I really I really enjoyed it, the little bit that I played of it. I played it on the way back from Gen Con in the car. The drive to Indianapolis from Chicago was like a good 4 hours, and I played it the entire way back to Chicago. Oh, is this a limited run? No. Oh, no. Okay, so I blame Pete Dorr for this. He was doing like a video about all the games he had for his Vita and his collection, and he buys like all these obscure RPGs and shit, and I was like trying to collect for the console. I had just gotten the console. You went to college with Danica. Goddamn. Lucky. I can't do the Dynamite or the Napoleon Dynamite voice, but I would totally if I could. Got any chapstick? Anyway. He was doing like a video game collection thing like I'm doing right now, and he brought up this game, and I was like, okay, that is funny. She roomed down the hall for me? God damn. Lucky. So the title alone made me say I needed to buy this. And it is Sorcery Saga, Curse of the Great Curry God. Hot and spicy, everything nicey limited edition. By the time he was talking about it, this had been out for a little while, and I got it, I think for $20 or something like that. But it was what came with it. I thought it would be funny as a talking point. If I put this out in like a really visible place in my apartment and people came over and they'd be like, what is that? And I'd be like, well, it's this game that I bought. And it comes with a bib, a dish, and a spoon. Isn't that funny? And they'd be like, no, you're just an idiot for buying that. I think it goes in this way. So, yeah. I played the game itself. Give me some of your tots. Oh, my lips are real bad. God. I played this, and it's like a strategy RPG. And I played this on the plane a little bit on the way to LA the first time I went. And it's not bad. It's just, it's kind of slow-paced. And I was kind of like, yeah, I want to play something a little more exciting because otherwise I'm just going to fall asleep with this Vita in my hand. And all I know is someone will walk by and snatch it out while I'm snoozing. But, I mean, it was kind of interesting. It's kind of something I need to really sink a lot of time into. But it was not bad. It's just what I wanted to play at that particular point in time was not this. But I got a dish, a bib, and a spoon in case. I'm a big old fat baby. I picked this one up while I was in LA also, Soul Sacrifice. I want to say that this is a sequel to another game that's like available on like the main consoles. But this looks more like a beat 'em up, like a 3D beat 'em up. Looked kind of cool, so I picked it up. I got it at a GameStop in LA. This is another limited run. Stealth Incorporated, a Clone of the Dark Ultimate Edition. It's like a puzzle platformer, and I just thought it looked kind of interesting. But then again, like I said, this was at the point in time when I was buying every game that limited run released. This Vita game is really heavy, because I'm assuming that it has a very thick manual in it. Everything you need for curry. I know, right? I love curry, dude. Can you imagine me showing up at a curry house with that shit? Like, just put it in this little plate so I can eat it with my teeny little spoon. Summon Night 6, Lost Borders. The only reason I picked this up was I was just putzing around on Amazon one day and I saw this like dirt cheap. It was like $3 or $4. And I was like, oh, cool, another RPG. I'll pick that up. I love RPGs. Never play them, but I love them. Over 18 hours of spoken dialogue and 30 different endings. Well, this is obviously part 6 in a franchise. I need to find the other games in the franchise. But yeah, this thing is heavy as shit. How about we open it right now and take a look? How about that? Captain Algebra, doing you proud, bruh. Shit, I need a knife. Give me that screwdriver. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, break them seals. Oh, I got that new game smell. Poof. Smells like plastic. Yeah, look at it. Holy shit. That is a thick-ass manual for an RPG. God damn. Wow. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I was trying to get all these RPGs and stuff because I was like, eventually I'll get around to playing them. Just never got around to playing them. 30 years down the road, I might. Thomas Was Alone. Picked this up off of Limited Run also. And I bought this because I was buying every game Limited Run released. I've said that I don't know how many times tonight so far. But the main reason I bought it was I follow Kinsey Burke, you know, Kinzilla from the Metal Jesus crew on Twitter. And she said, this game is so good, it made me care about a bunch of dots and circles. Or something to that effect. And I was like, huh? And then I watched some footage, and it's like a puzzle game, I guess. But, like, there's a story going on with these different shapes and colors and stuff. And, like, I guess, and it sounded interesting. And I was like, okay. When I finally find a copy of that, I'll pick it up. And then Limited Run put it up for sale. And I was like, oh, shoot, now's my chance. I got this also at the Gen Con GameStop. And that is Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. I think this also had a PS3 release. But I was like, whatever. I didn't know at the time that it did. I was like, oh, it's an exclusive on the Vita. It would say so up here if it was, because I'm a dumbass. I didn't notice that. But it's an RPG. It says, gorgeous animation, looks 3D, but it's really 2D. Oh, no. Director Shuho Imai's latest work is an underground ghost hunting game. Cool. I'll play it. That's why I bought it. Damn it. This is the last game, I think, that came with... Yeah, this is the last game that actually came with the Vita when I got it, when I did the trade. And that's Touch My Katamari. It's like Katamari Damacy Part 69 or something. I don't know. But Touch My Katamari sounds vaguely dirty and porno-esque. But yeah, it's just another game in the franchise. And it plays pretty well on the Vita. I can't complain. I love the Katamari games. It says touchscreen on the front screen will make you go one way, and touch on the rear. There's a touch pad on the back of the Vita also. So I guess you can control it that way too, but I wasn't playing it like that. That's weird. Touch it, Chris, touch it. Mega Dan, eat your heart out. Picked this up also in LA at GameStop. Tukiden, The Age of Demons, and this is also a part of a franchise I think that's available on the PS4. I think I have one of them. But this is like playing, from what I remember reading... this is like playing Dynasty Warriors, but with demons. So, yeah, there's that. It's like a beat 'em up. This is the game... Okay, so at the beginning, when I started talking about the Vita games, there was one game I said that made me realize I'm playing like a PS3 in my hand. And it was this game. This was the first game I went out of my way to buy. I absolutely had to have this because I love the console games in this franchise. That's Uncharted Golden Abyss. I absolutely had to play this like little side story Uncharted game. And it is just as good as any of the console versions. There's a couple of weird things you got to do because of the way the Vita works. Like I said, it has a touchpad on the back. And whenever you would find like an artifact or something, it'd be covered in dirt or whatever. Or you do like a chalk rubbing. You'd find something, you need to do a chalk rubbing of it because you can't take a stone slab with you everywhere you go. You gotta do the chalk rubbing. You have to like rub your finger along the back of the pad, or the pad on the back of the Vita, in order to make it happen. And it's a little weird. Sometimes if you want to like look at something close up, you have to like spin it with the pad on the back. I thought it was just kind of forcing you to use that pad on the back because it's available. Why not? How does that feel? Because I'm a baller? Holla. But this is probably my favorite... One of my all-time favorite games on the Vita. Like I said, it plays just like all the other games in the franchise. It looks just like the other games in the franchise. It has a story that is fantastic. Characters are just as good. It's a little smaller scale game. Obviously, it's on a handheld, but I can't complain. This is awesome that I'm able to play an Uncharted game on a handheld. I wish they made another one before they went under. Or before they canceled it. This is the one that I think I got duped on. Yep, it is. What's it? I can't remember how. Cyberpunk Bartender. The font on here is so small. Cyberpunk Bartender Action. It's called Valhalla. It's a bartender simulator. Everyone was saying, Chris, you need to buy this game because my friends know that I love Cyberpunk, and it's one of my favorite like science fiction genres. And they're like, oh, there's this new Cyberpunk game I hear that's coming out. You need to pick it up. It's called Valhalla. And it was a download game at that point. And I was just like, no. And then I saw this come out through Limited Run. And I was like, oh, shit, now's my chance. I'll get that Cyberpunk game all my friends were telling me about. And then I got it. It shows up. I blind bought it. It shows up, and I'm reading the back, and I was like, oh, it's a bartender simulator in the future. Well, now I think this is coming out for the Switch and like every other console out there, so I was just kind of like, I think I made a mistake. Okay, so Virtue's Last Reward. This is part of the Zero Escape series. There's, what is it, 999 that came out on the Nintendo DS, and then Virtue's Last Reward, and then there's another one in the franchise that's down here. It's a I think this is a or a visual novel. Yeah, the follow-up to 2010's award-winning puzzle adventure, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, 999. So this is the second game in the series. So yeah, it's an adventure game. I have not played it. I still haven't played 999 because Chris. And I'll jump ahead to the second one, and this is Zero Time Dilemma. And this has 2 games on it from what I remember. No, that's a different version. This is the third game in the series. Yes. Still need to play them. I'm gonna play 999, but never find it. Find it with the good cover, the one that I have. Don't find it with that stupid one that just says 999 on the front. That's retarded. Okay, now we're gonna go back to normal order. I need to play that franchise. I need to play it bad. I think it's on my my backlog roulette for the Super Enabler Brothers podcast. I had to get at least one game for this franchise on this Vita, and that's Ys Memories of Celceta. I love this franchise. I played the TurboGrafx 16, this Turbo CD, Ys Book 1 and 2. I think it's amazing. I still need to get the newest one. What is that, Part 8? It looks amazing too, but had to get this so I can have one on the go if I ever need it. But it's an action RPG franchise that I love. I got 2 copies of this one from Limited Run. Like, I got one day, and then another copy showed up in the mail the next day. It was a mistake. I did not buy 2 copies of this. I wouldn't. But I think I did buy the PS4 version eventually, and I got rid of it. I think that was the one that I did this for. Whatever. No, that was Future Idiom or whatever it was called. But it's called Volume. And I cannot tell you what it's about because it's still sealed, and there's absolutely nothing on the back. I do not know why Limited Run does that shit. Show me what the game looks like, okay? But if anyone knows what this is, pure stealth. Okay, I guess it's a stealth game. Take their word for it. And then, like I said, we have the Zero Time Dilemma, which is the third game in the 999 series. So I have all 3, and now I do believe there's a collection out there that has like all 3 games on it. Because I talked to, or at least 2 of the games on it. Because I talked a friend into buying it when we went to the Midwest Gaming Classic because they had it there. And I was like, oh, I hear this franchise is really good. I have a couple of games in the series. You need to get it. I think it has Virtue's Last Reward and 999 on it. PS4 has all of my one disc. Yeah, I remember I talked them into buying it. And they thanked me later. So they got to recommend. I got to play it. So yeah, that's it for my Vita and 3DS collections. Like I said, they were pretty small. Couldn't really talk about a lot of the Vita stuff because I haven't played most of it because it's mostly from Limited Run, like I said. But, you know, cool. I have a lot of games to play if I ever do want to boot it up, which I'm probably going to do tonight because now I feel bad that I have all these sealed games. Captain Algebra is so mad at me right now. But next week will be my Wii U collection, I do believe. Yes, it will be Wii U. And that'll probably be a short video because I do not have a huge collection. So I might... Well, I really can't. Well, I can mix it with my Xbox One collection because I don't have a huge Xbox One collection either. So there's that. So that might be a decent little combo. Because my PlayStation 4 video is going to be like 3 videos long. I have so many games for my PS4. I just had to buy 2 new media shelving units. No, next time I do a video, next Thursday when you come back, there's going to be something new right here. Like this Armageddon thing is going to be moved over, and there's going to be a shelving unit right here filled with games. 354 today? God damn. I want to do a Vita show and tell video now. Dude, do it. I'd watch it. Let me know. Because I do like the Vita. Like I said, when I was playing it, I was loving it. Just for some reason, I stopped. Probably because I got the Switch. I can tell you exactly when I got the damn Switch. Because all of a sudden, that's my handheld game console. That's like playing real... console games in the palm of my hand. That's why. My Mortal Kombat stand's going to be over here, probably. And there's going to be a new shelving unit, like right along this wall where the Mortal Kombat thing is. So, it'll still be in the shot. It'll be a busier shot. But yeah, I'm running out of space for a lot of these games. Like my PS4 collection is like taking up this entire unit that I have in my living room. So I need to find somewhere else to put them. And there's some, like, I've been out of room for my Nintendo games also for a long time. That's the reason I haven't been buying them, or buying a lot of Nintendo games, because I don't really have a lot of room for them anymore. So I need to expand. So I bought 2 new shelving units today. So anyway, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, come back for the Wii U and Xbox One collection video. There's a lot of cool stuff for both of them. The Wii U's got some stories. And then I've been working on the top 10 NES game response video to Captain Algebra that I filmed like last year, and I haven't put together yet. I've got a couple of other videos I'm working on, edited content. Still trying to get that part 5 of the movies that would make great video games collaboration video, but having just as much problems as I had with the last one, where people are saying, yes, I want to take part, and then they just flake on you and don't want to respond to your messages anymore when you're like, hey, do you think I can get that by this Friday, maybe, possibly? Because I wanted to work on it this week and get that out, but I had at least 3 people flake on me, so I need to start looking for more people again. So if anyone's interested in being part of a collaboration, let me know, especially if you haven't been in this series of ones I've been doing. Anyway, so come back next Thursday. I will be here for a new video game collection live stream. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope you're staying safe. Who are you, Peter B? You got competition, Pete. So yeah, hope everybody is staying safe. Do the social distancing thing. Let's get this thing over with so we can all go back to our works and go out and have fun and go and see movies again and stuff. Let's just get this over with. So stay safe. Don't go licking any toilet bowls. I'll talk to everybody next week. Chris, the old ass retro gamer, signing off. Have a good night, everybody.